Hi, Suzanne Clegg here of spiritgate.com, and I specialize in distance healing and in-person healing, energy healing for cancer, for people and pets. I'm the author of the book, There Is Another Way, Energy Medicine for Pets with Cancer, which I highly recommend as a primer for everything, for people or pets. Not everything, but for people and pets. And today's video is about the difference between prayer and distance healing. Now, prayer has been shown scientifically to work, and that's great. That's great. And so has distance healing. It's been scientifically proven, and I know in my own experience of being able to cool down hot cancerous tumors, take away pain, often a lot more with cancer. It works. It's very practical. I like to teach people how to do it. I have courses on it, all that kind of thing. And so I'd like to talk about how there are just one little pieces where they're a little different. So in prayer, when I pray, of course there's many kinds of prayer, so don't, whatever. A common form of prayer is you just ask God, universe, some saint, to help with some problem or to fix something, and basically delegate it to them and forget about it. And that's been scientifically proven to help. They've done nun studies. There's just lots of good research on prayer. Now, distance healing, one of the big differences is the amount of contact that I might have if I'm doing a distance healing. So if I'm actually doing a distance healing on a person or an animal, I need to make contact with them. And I'm actually getting feedback in the moment during the session. I don't just say, okay, I'm distance healing you, done, and then it goes into the back of my mind. I'm actually present and in contact. And I think this is a big way that distance healing is different than prayer. So when I'm in contact with my patient, I like if it's a pet, I have the person who's with me on Zoom or something touching them, and they feel the tumor cooling down, or they stop licking their paws, or they do something like that. If it's a person, they'll just tell me like, oh, I felt this wave of peace, or oh, my tumor just feels so much better now, or I just breathed this sigh of release, or this feeling of dread just left me, or I just felt this grounding kind of whole sensation going. So you get like immediate feedback, which is sort of satisfying for your ego. And I was thinking about, how this contact seems to be why you get feedback, because you're actually in contact while you're doing the distance healing. So I have other videos, other trainings on how to do a distance healing. This is just a piece of it, of how to make contact. So a list of ways, I thought I jotted down a few of the ways that I like to make contact. The contact the healing happens through resonance, not through transfer. So if I'm grounded and in the here and now and aware of my environment, aware of my body, aware of my emotions, aware of any spiritual sensations, aware of anything I can be aware of in the here and now, that actually helps my patient, whether they're an animal or a human, do the same. And I know for me that when I'm here now, that's where my healing happens. If I'm off in the future thinking, oh yeah, I'll get to that, usually nothing much happens. So if I can be here now and help them be there now, that helps. So basically I'm making not contact with my patient, but with the here and now. And by resonance, it helps the patient do the same. So then what I like to do is to hold something that represents the patient. So if I don't have sometimes I use their hair. So this is an example of my hair. I have it taped to a card. And what I do is I have people send me their hair, and I actually hold it like this so that the palm of my hand, which is in acupuncture, that's our connection to our heart. I hold it right in there, And I actually can feel a different connection whether I'm holding it or not, and so can they often. Even muggles can, even non-energetically sensitive people can feel it, so that can be kind of fun. So that actually amplifies the connection. And you can think about it like, if I'm holding somebody's hair, a part of me is in touch with my skin, my energy field is in touch with their energy field that's generated by the DNA or the structure of their hair. And then through resonance, it goes out into the world, and I'm in stronger contact with them. Anyway, that's the way I think it might work. So having an object, but you don't have to have hair. Sometimes if I don't have their hair, I'll just pick an object, and I could like pick up my cell phone and pretend like it's them. And if I'm talking on the cell phone, that might actually be okay. I might get a piece of jewelry, or just, I could get a rock. I could get anything and hold it in my hand. And I think, so like this piece of jewelry is clearly not a person or an animal with cancer. But if I ask it in my mind to please represent them for the next 20 minutes or however, whenever I'm doing the healing, I put it in there, and it's as if like my hand, it's if all the filters in my mind are able to pretend on a deeper level and therefore connect with the fact that I am connected to them. Because I do think we're all connected, but we have, if we're physically separate, it helps us manage our energy. But if we're trying to connect using touch, even if you're not really doing it, using pretend to touch them is a valuable, valuable tool. Okay. You can also strike different postures. You can do different mudras, different physical things that help you connect. All right. And then I like to connect hearts. It's just my style. And you don't have to connect your heart to the person that you're doing distance healing with, but I like to do that. I think it enhances it. So the way you do that is you kinesthetically feel in your chest, your physical chest, a sense of warmth and a spreading sensation when you think about your client. And I like to say something like, I open my heart to the possibility of healing, and then I actually open it. I don't just think it. It's a thing that happens in my chest. And that I call the heart link. And some of us know how to do that when we shake hands. We shake hands and we look into people's eyes, and we really like do this little heart link thing. So you don't need to have eye contact or hands shaking to make that heart link. But it does, that's what it is. That's what we're doing when we shake hands. All right. Another thing is to ask for an image of connection. Now, if you're a distance healer, often you have a very good imagination, and your imagination can be used not only to come up with, you can't just, like, it doesn't just come from your ego to imagine it. Your imagination can be like an organ of perception. So you can ask, what I like to do is I like to ask for an image of my connection with somebody. And sometimes it feels like they're a little like a ghost, and sometimes they're just like an image right there in my mind. And if they're a little ghosty, a little like blurry, I just shift something in my heart, or I say something different, or I tell a joke, or I do something to enhance the connection. And or you want to connect not just with their mind, with their heart, or with the part of them that can heal. So there's layers and layers and layers to that asking for an image to work with. And this energetic connection goes so far beyond story and psychology, because it works with animals. The animals don't know that I guess they know at some level that I'm working on them, but it's not like they're believing in me or anything like that. But it really clearly makes a difference in my distance healings when I do that, when I ask for an image and then I work with that image. It's like I say, it's an organ of perception, my imagination, not just making things happen. Number 5 in my little list, that last one was 4, is to perform a ritual. You could, put 2 objects on a table and connect you, or you could connect them to, you could do some sort of symbolic ritual. I'm not going to go into how to do all that. And you don't have to do any of these. I'm just sort of trying to give you the lay of the land so that you find your way to connect that's authentic with your world. All right. And the list is really endless, and I would love to know how you connect with your distance healing patients. So, yeah. Now, this connection, the biggest problem I see with connection is that we think that we're doing the healing. That's like the biggest beginner's mistake with distance healing, because it's not the same as like prayers when God's doing it, and distance healing is like when I'm doing it. Like, no, that's not it. It's distance healing is when you're connected more actively, but you're still not doing it. You're still surrendering the doing to something that knows how to do that. Like, do you know how to cure cancer? Do you know how to, like, I don't. Like, that's way beyond my, my three-dimensional perceptive apparatus. But I've seen it happen enough of times that I know that there is that information field somewhere. That, this idea that we're not doing the healing, but we are connecting and witnessing with the healing, and that our connection allows a difference to be made, but we're not doing it. Now this works, like you've all experienced, that you can get more work done around certain people and less work done around other people. It's like the connections in our lives do affect how we function. And so as a distance healer, we're connecting, but then the healer is the one that does the healing. I mean, the healee is the one that's doing the healing. The patient is the one that actually does the work. So our work as distance healers is to really tweak our way to connect technique. It's one of the many things you do as a distance healer, is to really tweak how to do that technique of connecting. All right. Okay, I hope this helps you. I'd love your feedback. Let's evolve this. I think this is a great thing to talk about and discuss, and to become more conscious of how we do it. Because I know that in my work, that's part of how I have the confidence to do what I do, is that I'm just understanding more and more and more about how to facilitate healing in other people. And I can learn from you, and we can help each other. Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.